Stephen, how are we?
I'm good. I'm hitting balls. I forgot what time it was.
Oh, lovely. Very, very nice to be able to hit some golf balls today.
I'm in the simulator, just doing a little practice. I'm gonna go outside. How are you guys?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm in Virginia Beach. Where are you, in London? Lockdown?
Nice. Yeah, just outside London, so sort of Bromley area. Whereabouts? So you, Virginia Beach, you say?
Virginia Beach. Yeah, I grew up here, so my great aunt had a house it's on a lake, a cool lake house in Virginia Beach, and so we
lovely.
just came here. We came for a few months. Our plan was to stay for a few months for the summer with the kids.
Yeah.
And then that plan turned to we're still here, and
okay.
LA is different than here. My kids are in school here, so it's a little less lockdown, less people,
Yeah. What is the COVID situation where you are there currently? Is it under control or?
It's bad, I guess, but it's still, restaurants are open, and like there's our kids are in a private school, so private schools can go to school. Public schools aren't in school, just virtual school. But the golf courses are open, and we have boats and different stuff like that we can do. Horses and guns and boats and
nice
and golf.
Yeah. to be able to play golf at the moment over here in the UK is. Well, I think Scotland you can play, but England you can't. So it's a bit tough at the minute.
Yeah, at the beginning of the COVID situation in LA, you couldn't play in Los Angeles County, but we could play in Ventura, which is like on the way to Santa Barbara. So there's, of course, Soul Park and the Ojai Valley Inn. Those two courses, like every time I would go up at the beginning, it almost felt like we were like sneaking up there, like I wasn't quite sure if I really should be doing this or not. But then I would go there and I would see like, a bunch of other people that I know from LA who were doing the same.
Lovely. So
how's the connection? No good?
Connection? No, it looks good to me. Yeah, it looks all good to me. Tell me a little bit about your background in golf. So how long have you been playing for? Sort of the level that you're playing at?
I've been golfing. When I was young, I started golfing when I was like 11 or 12, and then I stopped when I was 16. But to be honest, I've never really gotten much better than I was by the time I was 16, where I could shoot, mid 70s, fairly easy. But I've never really gotten where I could shoot, mid 60s, or it was never been easy for me to shoot a couple under par. But I've been able to shoot a couple over par since I was 16. And I've stopped for big gaps in 10 years at a time, big gaps. And then right when I go back after a few months, I'm already right back to that position. But I never been able to get better than, probably average like 4 or 5 handicap.
Okay. That's good, still good standard, though. That's a good standard of golf for sure.
On a good day, yeah, on a good day.
So, Malbon, I'm a big fan of the brand. Talk to me a little bit about the inspiration behind starting the brand. When you started, why, all that good stuff.
We started the brand, so it started as a content first, as an Instagram handle, and basically I was using it just putting up kind of like mood board type of deal, where just putting up images and kind of cool different little oddities about golf that I find so interesting or cool. And from there, basically, there were other people who started to kind of like it as well, and we started to get followers, and then we got more and more followers. And I have a publishing and marketing background in advertising, so I've always had a creative studio. And about 2 years into the Malbon Golf Instagram, I moved offices and I put a kind of a pro shop as the front of my creative office, and that was the beginning of Malbon Golf on Fairfax. Awesome. We had a store and later and kind of a putting green, different stuff like that.
Love it. So the logo is very, very cool indeed. Very, very cool. Tell me a little bit about how that came about. I did listen to your podcast that you did with Chris Collick.
Mm-hmm.
I know you told the story on the podcast, but for those who may be watching who might not know how the logo came about, how did it come about?
The golf ball head is named Buckets is his name, and it was inspired by the old POS, like the point of sales, little ceramic statues for Penfield and Dunlop and all of the old vintage golf balls. They had these little dolls or statues that they would put near the cash register. So when you were checking in or whatever, it would say you also need Dunlop balls, or you also need whatever balls it was. So there was about 3 or 4 of them that existed, and that logo is kind of a combo of the 3.
Oh, right. Okay. Awesome. That's really, really cool. The store is obviously on Fairfax.
Yep.
Really, really. It's been a place in the world that I've always wanted to visit. Sort of Fairfax and around Melrose, with the sort of the cultural implications around that area.
Right.
What's the store like? How
right now it's not open. Right now it's not open because it's like gyms aren't allowed to be open, indoor training facility, putting green indoor, pretty much anything indoor isn't good. And to be honest, the space, it did wonders for us in starting the brand. It did great in kind of, putting golf right in the middle of the epicenter of streetwear and skateboarding and fashion, and all of this Hollywood kind of entertainers and entrepreneurs and all of these different people. And there also wasn't a lot of golf. Like in LA, it's either a really good country club or it's kind of a worn out municipal.
Right.
And there isn't anything right in Hollywood except private country clubs like Wilshire and Hillcrest are 2-3 miles from my office. But they're very, very, very private. And so, yeah, the store worked as a kind of a showroom and more of a story than a store, like being able to do Instagram out of there, being able to do certain, like, having Rory McIlroy come and hit balls in the simulator during Genesis Open Week, or is very much used as an event space and a showroom.
Yeah.
So, now with COVID, it's kind of changed it a lot, because it was kind of we were having parties where there'd be like 300-500 golfers, out in the street, eating with food trucks and hitting balls and closest to the pin contest, and just pure madness that you wouldn't really expect at a golf party. Like if you went to like a golf party at Roger Dunn or a PGA Superstore, you would kind of expect what would be there, right? Like how the vibe would be. So what we were doing was definitely more a mix of like creatives and skaters and fashion and weirdos mixed with true golfers, basically, like your normal golfer. And I think it was great. The space is really cool because there you can have like, a suit who plays golf on the weekends, who on his lunch break is in there hitting a few balls in the simulator, or could have a professional skateboarder kid who's never played on a golf course, but he comes in, 3 times a week and hits balls for an hour with an instructor, right? So it was very much like another reason of starting it is back when I got super addicted to golf again, when maybe like 10-15 years ago. But I would and I still do, I'll go to like a golf store and just like start chumming it up with anybody who's looking at the putters. Like, hey, have you ever used that Odyssey putter? Or, like next thing I know, I'm like, I know the guy, I know who his son plays, and here's where he plays. And so it's such a community type of thing that that is probably one of the coolest parts of it, of the store. And then obviously at work is a showroom and a retail store, creative studio in the back.
Yeah.
And it gave us, when we started, a really good idea of like what golfers want to buy, right? Mm-hmm. So we started off selling Jones golf bags and Nike Golf and Seamus and a handful of other brands. And then we slowly but surely started to make our own products, which at first started as just like printables, where we would buy stuff downtown and print on it and sell it in the store. And then eventually online, and now we've kind of, it's been a fun journey from going from just doing printables to now making cut and sew and using factories in Peru and in Korea and Southern Asia and downtown LA, and that whole thing of like polos and fittings and things sell, and after they sell, we either stop making that product or we'll make it a little better, right? So we started off making a pair of pants, and we had a pair of shorts we made, and they had mesh pockets because they're basically a swimming suit material. So very good for the cabana after golf.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't want the cotton pockets because that would then like make your pants, your shorts would be wet in certain areas. So
Yeah.
we made shorts that were like that. They worked great as shorts. And then eventually we said, hey, these shorts are great. We should make pants the same way. So then we made the pants with the mesh pockets. And then after we made them, I tried it and I said, well, it doesn't make any sense because you're never going to swim in the pants. So you might as well have pockets, you know? So stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, like, it's just a matter of, kind of staying after it and trying to make things better. Better each time, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about collaborations is you guys do some of the coolest collaborations. So some of the ones for me that stand out, the Beats collaboration was incredible. I mean the sort of how that all came about was very, very cool. The Lyle and Scott one again, really nice. Talk to me a little bit about, how does a collaboration come about? Do you approach them? Do they approach you? How's that sort of work?
It's kind of all of the different ways. Collaborations are great because both people get to participate in the other's audience and the other's expertise and the other's heritage and the other's, everything that they have going on. It's great to do the project. So very early we would do like, and they're not even really, it's like collaborations are as like such a streetwear or skateboarding term,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like fashion style, but country clubs inevitably do collaborations with every product in their pro shop, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm at a country club right now and they sell like maybe 5 or 6 different polo companies, but they have their logo on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, golfers, like, I don't think the type of golfer I am is like, a few years back before I had a brand, I didn't even really care what polo I would buy. I was just buying it because of the country club I was at.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I'm
Yeah.
playing Pebble Beach, I want a Pebble Beach shirt. I don't care if it's Adidas or Nike, or probably want to do, if it was Ralph Lauren or if it was, Peter Millard, Grayson, or
Mm-hmm.
none of that really mattered that much. It was just, I want a shirt from Bandon Dunes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's kind of the initiated start of it, came from that place of just, that's how golf is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about cresting. It's about like buying, Jones golf bags and putting your country club or your golf club's logo on it, or buying Seamus head covers, and the business is set up to embroider your logo on it,
Mm-hmm.
as being a golf apparel company. That if you're selling polos, the country club expects you to put their logo on it or they don't want it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the same exact shirt that you're paying, $150 for at Pebble Beach, you could buy at Dick's Sporting Goods for $70, but it doesn't have the Pebble Beach logo.
No.
So I think that's initially where the collaborations kind of came from. And then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then like Beats is like barely into golf, and they wanted to get into golf, and they thought it was a great fit to get into golf with us. And I thought it was a great fit because obviously, Beats isn't your typical golf company, right? Beats by Dre.
No.
Like, it's not your typical company that invests in golf or sponsors golfers. And so now they have Tony, they have Cameron Champ, they have Tony Finau,
Right. Okay.
and they even have a somewhat of a deal with Justin Thomas as well. So,
right.
Getting them to invest in golf, I think that obviously it helps my brand. It helps our, social media. It helps our email list. There's a million things that helps on my end, but I think it also helps golf because now they are literally spending money making TV commercials and spots for golf where they're targeting younger people and they're not targeting your traditional golfer. Mm-hmm. So there's only so much I could do, me and my wife and my 2 boys with the company we have, right? And there's only so much I can do, but I can do a lot more if Nike and Polo and Budweiser and Beats by Dre and all of these big companies are investing in golf, which is is also obviously investing in us and in our company, and it helps us grow our audience and it helps us stay in business, and helps us be more of a global brand, right? Like, so in Korea, Beats by Dre is really big, or Budweiser too. It's like these brands like Budweiser, like I grew up in America, like Budweiser's like most famous brand here. I mean,
Yeah,
Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, red and white beer can, like, you know, very iconic brands. So that's been kind of the goal there, is just to make sure that we're trying to inspire younger people to go. So doing it with Nike before we did it with FootJoy, it makes sense, and setting up a shop on Fairfax before we set one up in Beverly Hills, like, it's very deliberate that we're doing that, because doing fashion stuff and getting on Hypebeast or getting on High Snobiety or Complex and these type of sites, like, I believe that's going to help golf more.
Absolutely.
And it would help me personally. But, if we get on Golf Digest and golf.com, then we're going to sell more polos. But if we get on Hypebeast, we're going to sell more kids that golf actually is pretty cool. Yeah. So I guess that's where we are.
For sure. Going back to the Beats thing, the presentation boxes that, the stuff came in, the pill came in, like, some of the presentation boxes were out of this world. Some of the details, is that something that you guys have a great deal of input into, sort of the design and how that looks?
And Apple's really good. Apple bought Beats. Right. So Apple is a really great company, or at least a very, very creative company. So part of the strategy was, we're going to make, I think, 200 of those boxes, and we're going to get them to the, like, their influencers and friends and our influencers and friends, and send them out to people, both people in golf and, more importantly, probably people outside of golf, where, Dr. Dre and LeBron James got that box and, like, put it on.
That's so cool.
Like, nuts, to me, it's like that logo's on a pill that, Dr. Dre, before he got sick, he was in Costa Rica on a yacht, and a friend was on the yacht and said he walked down, and, like, on the little coffee table on Dr. Dre's yacht was the Malbon Pills speaker. Which is like, I mean, I grew up.
That's insane.
It beats, like, on the school bus listening to NWA, and so, like, Dr. Dre is doing a project with us. It's just nuts,
That's so incredible. That is, I can imagine that must have been a very, very proud moment for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, like, giving the box, I gave my box. I got a box, but I gave it to my pops for Christmas, so he can like put it on his bar or wherever he's gonna put it.
That's really cool. What's coming up for Malbon? So you just released the Nike collab, which some of the pieces are really, really cool for that. Two questions, I guess, is how has COVID sort of impacted on the plans that you'd have had for product and stuff coming out, and then what do you have sort of coming out 2021? What should we be looking out for?
Products, it hasn't really, like, hurt us that much. At first, it was like factories in LA were shut down, and then basically factories started making masks. So when you make masks, you're essential. So basically, we were kind of had, like, a couple weeks where we were like, oh shit, I don't know what's going to happen to our fulfillment house, who ships all the stuff, and I don't know what's going to happen to the factories. And like I said, the factories got shut down first, but then very quickly they realized that if they made masks, they could stay open. And the postage and the shipping department at the facility house, they are allowed to stay open too, because people need to get mail. So production-wise, it actually didn't really hurt us that much. But again, we're not, Nike or Polo. We're not buying, like, 50,000 polos, right? It's like we're making a couple hundred of this and a couple hundred of that. So the factories have still been able to get materials and make the stuff. What kind of was changed was we had a lot of plans with these brand partners, Budweiser's and Beats and everybody, to do, like, more kind of, week-long hospitality house parties at these big golf tournaments. And it would be open to their customers and their salespeople and their executives, and we would get different people. We have morning yoga sessions with certain sponsors.
Wow.
Big dinner parties at night with VIPs and pro golfers and trainers and fashion weirdos and everybody together, being able to go, like, to Winged Foot, right? Like, we had a beautiful house rented in Winged Foot, and then so that was shut down. The stuff like that, I think more like in-person stuff, obviously, it's changed. We also have Malbon Golf Club, where
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we have monthly golf tournaments in LA. So it's actually, we're having one right now. I'm not there, but normally I try to fly out to go to them. But right now they're having one near San Diego. So I think it's like 70 people, you know, which is, it's growing now. But at the end of last year, pre-COVID, it would be like 150 people.
Oh, wow.
So it definitely has people like, I don't know if they don't feel safe, or they don't feel like it's what they should be doing, right? It's like, if the governor says like stay home and don't do anything, but don't hang out with anyone, and then it's like your buddy hits you up and says like, hey, do you want to play golf tomorrow? It's like, you know, it's a question for you and my wife to figure out, right? It's not as simple as just, of course I'm in, pick me up.
Yeah.
Like, well, shit, we both have to drive. Like, we can't ride together, you know, and then you have to have your own cart, right? You can't have a caddy, and there's so like, you can't use the putting greens at certain golf courses. So like having a putting contest at the tournament, like now the putting contest is gone. The state won't let you putt, but you can go on the driving range, but you can't use the putt. Like weird stuff like that.
That is odd. That is really odd. So yeah, the Malbon Clubs thing. So how many events would you? I guess how many events would you have in a year, sort of normal year? So no sort of COVID.
Probably like 10, you know, like almost a month. Take like maybe December off or something. But last year we started it halfway through the year and we did 6. Yeah, so it's basically, or we did 6 this year and we did 6 the year before. So we had to stop only for a month or two. And we also have we've made some kind of these putting mats, basically, where if you're a member, you get this welcome kit and it comes with a 10-foot putting mat. And the putting mat, you and I could kind of play against each other on Instagram Live or on FaceTime or anything like that, Twitch or things.
Yeah.
And so now we're starting to do the tournaments inside, where you don't need to be in LA. You don't have to drive. You could actually do like bracketed tournaments, college style bracketed tournaments that people in New York, people in London, people in Tokyo, people in Korea, people anywhere can actually sign up, and you'll get an email and it'll say, hey, you know, you have to play Steve tomorrow by 2. You're both on this email. Send us the video of who won. And then I hit you up and I say, hey, when's good for you? And we pick a time and we jump at it, and one of us would win, and then that person moves on to play another round, etc. So we're doing those once a month as well. And then like most of our brand partners, you know, Beats and then the golf brands, TaylorMade, Callaways, and Nikes, and different people all will give prizes and different stuff. That's like that. You know, so there's, you know, new spider putters for the putting contest.
Yeah.
TaylorMade, shit like that.
That's really cool to have the support from them.
Yeah, the golf world has been very supportive since we've started, and it's been crazy helpful, and we're very thankful for basically golf media and the big golf brands. You know, everyone has been super supportive, and I knew at first like certain communities would be supportive, but I wasn't 100% sure what like the traditional golf people were going to think, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, everyone's been nice.
Brilliant. So going back to product, is there a favorite a product that you guys have done, or maybe a favorite collaboration of yours in the time you've been going that you think back on that might not necessarily be the best product that's come out, but maybe the coolest to work on, that kind of stuff?
I mean, I think that like the coolest to work on was probably definitely Lyle and Scott.
Okay.
Because I went to Hoyt. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Hoyt. So we went to Hoyt. We went to this old, beautiful hotel, and they set up like the lobby and the suite in the hotel with all of their archives, all of the heritage stuff, and had, you know, a couple hundred pieces of you know, fashion archives. And so that was the start of it. And my wife and myself and John Buscemi, we flew out, and then we went and played St. Andrews with the guys from with Matt and the others from Lyle and Scott. So that was really cool, just doing that whole project with them. And like I said, going to Scotland and doing all of that stuff. But then product wise, probably Beats by Dre is like, Budweiser, the Budweiser stuff we did, I like as well. And
Yeah, really cool stuff.
I like the Glenlivet stuff. I like the golf bags we've been doing we're doing one with Budweiser coming soon.
Oh, wow.
A big golf bag and head covers and different stuff.
Is there a company that you've not collaborated with yet that you sort of really have your eye on?
A lot of them. Rolex, Mercedes, companies like that.
Yeah, and any what's coming up collab wise for 2021?
Oh, Evian too. Evian was always a great partner of us as well. Evian, because it was always based around the women's tournament, the Evian Championship. So we would go each year and stay there, and that was awesome. And this year we're working with them again with Evian and doing working on a bottle right now. So we're actually working on designing a bottle with our different logos and such. So just cool stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So just very, very quickly, the golf fashion world is ever changing. How do you see it kind of progressing for the next couple of years? Is it is streetwear going to have more of an influence in golf fashion, do you think, moving forward, or how do you see it playing out?
I think that, the way I hope that it plays out is like you don't have to wear a uniform to play golf. So if you like to wear Stussy and Vans and, if that's what you wear every single day, then why can't you golf in it as well, right? So when I started golfing a lot again, and 10 years ago or something, like that's basically what I would do. I would just buy polos or get the polos from like streetwear and skateboarding fashion brands, because a polo's a polo, and the golf course says you have to wear a polo, right? You don't have to wear a dry fit polo that's made for working out on a fall autumn day, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, I hope that it just turns more into like people being able to like dress up. Right. It gives, if it is like streetwear and stuff, it's like, I don't see it going to like t-shirts and cut off jeans and like looking too bummy. Right. Yeah. But there is a kind of Sunday best look that I hope when I go play a nice golf course, I really think about it prior, being like, I want to dress appropriate here. Like I don't want to disrespect the heritage of this club or whatever. And it doesn't have anything to do with like what I should be able to wear. Like I should be able to wear whatever, of course. Like what does it matter if my hat's backwards or not? But that's not I didn't make the rules, so I'm not going to try to like fight over the changing it. It's like I just wear my hat how they tell me to. I don't really care that much. But I don't have to wear a Titleist hat or a Callaway hat just to like show people that I'm a golfer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you taking a break from practice. I'll let you get back to hit some golf shots. It's been fantastic to talk to you and just to get an insight into Malbon. It's a brand that because of Fine Golf Collective over here in the UK, it's been and obviously Instagram a lot as well. It's been a brand that I've come to look out for, should we say? Because some of the stuff, like I said, has been really, really cool to see, and then obviously to hear about the beach stuff and that sort of thing from you has been great. So I really appreciate your time. Hopefully, at some point in the future, when sort of travel and that sort of stuff gets sorted out, shall we say, and life kind of can get back to somewhat normality, I'd love to link up and have a game at some point. Certainly see the shop. That'd be great. And if you're ever over in the London area, then we'll do it. Dickie
we have tickets. We have tickets for July, but they may get pushed back again. So July's looking a little tight, isn't it?
It's looking a little dicey, unfortunately. It is looking a little dicey, but I've got Fine Golf Collective coming on Wednesday for a chat, so it's going to be interesting to speak to Jordan from Fine Golf Collective. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, they're great. I'll watch along and chirp along in the comments.
I look forward to it.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming on, and I'll speak to you soon.
Take care, guys.
Take care. See you later.
Bye.
So, guys, really cool to hear from Stephen there. That's great to hear from him with regards to the brands that they get to work with and what it's like to work with the different brands and collaborate on special projects, that sort of thing. So I hope you did enjoy it. Sorry it was a little bit late getting up and running, but still really cool to hear from the man himself. I am going to upload this to YouTube once I've edited it up a little bit, and so yeah, really excited. It'll go up on the page as well. So if you didn't get a chance to watch all the way through, then you will do it's going to go up live straight after this actually. So yeah, it'll be there if you need it. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate your support. And I'll be back on Wednesday, where we've got Fine Golf Collective coming on. Jordan from Fine Golf Collective. That's going to be a really cool chat. I'm looking forward to that one. And then Friday, 8 o'clock, we have Golf Hipster coming on. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat, in the live or not, but we've got him coming on Friday, which would be really cool. So a jam-packed week. I've got a couple of people already booked in for the week after. So we are going to still keep smashing on with these lives. They're really great for me. It gives me something to focus on during the week, and something to look forward to as well. So hopefully it's doing the same for you guys. I hope you're all enjoying it. And again, really appreciate your support. And I'll see you all Wednesday. Peace.